Welcome to the Grit Behind the Grind podcast, where we dive deep into raw, unfiltered journey of entrepreneurship, fitness, mental health, and building businesses from the ground up. I'm Eric Rao, co-founder of Grit and Grind Coffee, real estate developer, fitness enthusiast, dad, and husband.
And I'm Destinee Rao, co-founder of Grit and Grind Coffee, creative, brand strategist, and above all, mom and wife, bringing you real talk on what it takes to thrive as a business owner, especially when you're doing it alongside your partner. Here, we don't just focus on the wins. We dig deep into the struggles, the sacrifices, and the daily grind that it takes to make it all possible. So tune in, subscribe, and get ready to uncover the grit behind the grind.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Grit Behind the Grind podcast. We are excited to talk to you today and tell you, in our opinion, why Grit and Grind Coffee is better than Starbucks. All right, so maybe we're a little bit biased, but I just want to put it out there in the universe that Grit and Grind, there's not even a comparison. There is not a world where we are the same. Why? Because we've built our company and we have like so many different things that kind of set us apart, but you also gotta give respect where respect is due. Starbucks did pave the way. And I mean, they made coffee mainstream, and thank you for doing that. For so many other small businesses and entrepreneurs like us that are coming up in that, realm or sandbox. So definitely hats off, but at the same time, we do respect them, but we believe also that we are night and day different and better than them. And we're fixing to break down why.
It's a beautiful example of what complacency can get you.
Yeah, no doubt. So let's break it down. Why do we have this fallacy and thought that we are better than Starbucks? And not just Starbucks. I mean, like, to start out with, I mean, me and Destinee are highly competitive people, right? And we learned at Hack a long time ago that, hey, whatever that little voice in your head, that thought that's going on, that's who you become. That's what you live up to. And there's nobody on this face of the planet that can tell me that we are not the best, right? Because in our eyes, that's exactly what it is. I mean, like, I show up every day with an intensity that I don't know if anybody can match. It's on a whole different level. Let's kind of like dive into what that looks like. What's our credibility? Why do we say that, Des?
Well, when we started this journey from not knowing anything about coffee, the first, of course, coffee shop in my head, I was like, I have to figure out, I have to study, I have to decode and unlock and figure out why they're doing this, was Starbucks. I never went to mom and pop local shops. I never went to, these other up and coming coffee brands. I went straight to Starbucks, and I figured out and I analyzed everything that they did. I signed up for their emails. What kind of marketing were they sending me in my emails? What kind of visuals were they having on their content or their social media? What did their menu look like? And then I also went to their reviews, and I knew that whenever I created a coffee shop, I had to fill those gaps of their current customers where they were kind of lacking and where some of the things were falling through the gaps. And so we made sure when we created our brand that we wanted to fill those gaps and fill those needs for their customers that Starbucks was not. And one of those things that we did was we created a brand with the ability to pivot very quickly. And what I mean by that is corporate is a massive, and I'm sure when we get bigger, it's even the amount of locations that we have now, we've noticed from location 1 to 10, it's not complicated, but you have to figure out and get creative different routes when you go to implement new systems, new recipes, new processes of things. But we have figured out how to do it a lot more quicker. So if we want to pivot with something, if we have a franchise owner that, is having an issue with something, they can bring it directly to corporate. We can quickly figure out a resolve for it and then implement it if we need to. Starbucks, that takes them a little bit longer to figure out and have to jump through a lot of hoops and board members. But Grit and Grind, your owners are literally on the front lines doing what you do as well as a fellow franchisee.
So a good example of that, whenever you think about being able to pivot and really like test the market with different things and figure out what really works. We really like the idea of coming into a new community and not having this one size fits all, right? Because each market's a little bit differently. They might need a sit down, they might need convenience. So, we kind of do a market analysis and then build the project around what that market analysis, provided. And part of that is pivoting and testing different things in the market. And you think about large companies like Starbucks and things like that. Picture them this large cruise ship, right? For a large cruise ship to turn a 180 and go the complete opposite direction takes some time. Our business model is kind of set up like a jet ski. I mean, like we'll whoop that thing around, and start going a different direction and then fail 2 or 3 times testing different things out and then figured out what really works before a big company like Starbucks has even made the decision and have even got approval from the boardroom to start testing a different theory out.
Yeah. Number 2 of why Grit and Grind is better than Starbucks is going to be our grassroots campaign, if you want to get nerdy and call it, but it is our community focus. We solely thrive off of community. That's just who we are as people, and that's who we are as a brand. It is making sure that we do have mainstream things, our systems, our processes, how you order beans, logoed cups, all those things that corporations and big box brands have to make them big box brands. I feel like we have those things, but we still don't lose those little touches of being community oriented and making sure that our community is the main focus of why we even exist and being that hub for community.
So I think that we built this business kind of, selfishly, right? I know that I wanted a coffee shop. I wanted to be able to get up in the morning. I wanted to go to a coffee shop and have good quality coffee. For you, you wanted a place to work. You wanted to get out of your home office and then just kind of go in a public setting and have like a very welcoming environment. So those were 2 driving factors for creating this brand. But another one was it got started right after COVID. COVID happened in 2020. This was about 2022 when we started the brand. And what we were seeing is a lot of businesses, Walmart, for example, you were losing that touch point with interacting with a sales associate, right? So you didn't go and ring up your groceries and talk to somebody. It was all automated. And then we've all been there where you're literally in the line and something goes wrong at the register and you have to wait for somebody to come over and help you fix it and them scan their badge. And it's like, man, I was just trying to get my groceries and get out the door. Having somebody to talk to and like work through issues when they arise was super valuable. And we wanted to make sure whenever people started to lose that, it was not something that was a priority in big companies, Walmart's, McDonald's, Starbucks. We was like, hey, just like you identified earlier, let's come in and fill the gap, because what we feel as consumers, we feel like other people are feeling the same thing. And that is, I'm not valued. So it was really building a business that is their number one priority is to make sure that the customer is valued. And I feel like that we've done that really well. And what goes to validate that is I keep seeing, Starbucks just got a new CEO a few months ago, and he came from Chipotle, and you get to see all these articles on what he's doing with the brand and how he's pivoting and things like that. And there's just so many things that I see that he's doing that we started doing that 2 years ago. We are already making it a very community environment, focused on the customers, focused on making sure that the quality is really well, making sure that he's going into the stores and the ones that are not having these things as a primary focus, he's making them do additional trainings. He's just kind of setting a standard. It's a reset for the company, but all the resets that he's doing, we identified 2 years ago, you know what I mean? And they're playing catch up now. They have the numbers.
They need to call us and we could hook them up with some advice.
We can hit them up with a consulting fee, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Like community, though, another thing I want to touch on the community piece is we tell people when they're coming into our brand, look, at the end of the day, the big box stores, it doesn't matter which coffee brand that you're talking about, they might have, the customer piece that they value, and same as us. They might have the quality piece that we value, same as us, but they don't have that mobile concept, because what that mobile concept allows us to do is, hey, when it's teacher appreciation week at a school and I go and bring my mobile unit to serve all of those teachers and get back into my community, what am I doing? Like, I'm stepping out and going into the community, and I'm building like really lasting relationships with people. And Starbucks and all of the other big chain coffee businesses, they are not doing that. Who is at the local baseball tournaments and football games and they're sponsoring all of these teams? That's what we pride ourselves on. That's what we're building our company on. It's community, right? So all these other things, they'll fall into place. You know what I mean? Whether it's revenue and quantity and the number of stores that I have, if I just build on this really strong foundation, which is valuing the customer, then all those other things will come.
Yeah. Another thing that I've realized once we put ourselves in rooms with other very large franchise chains and things like that is the support that we have for our owners. And it's not just support, like, here is how to make a drink, here's how you hire. It is your entrepreneurial journey support. It's what things that we're doing as people to help us with our mentality, or be able to add on more and more and more to our plate and still do it at a very high expectation and really, really well. And I think that has so much to do with the whole support system, rather it's e-learning or rather it's our network or the group chats and things like that, that we're able to literally just connect with people and make sure that we're there for all of their needs.
Yeah, we've built a really cool ecosystem that is very pay it forward and, kind of this, business model to where people come in and they are willing to share their expertise. They're willing to help the next person come along, because we have multiple owners and we figured out, hey, we started franchising this brand because we knew that it was something special and we wanted to grow, and we didn't want to do that ourselves. Even if we could, who wants to be sitting at a table and eating by themselves, right? We want to have community. We want to have other owners. And ever since the beginning, we created these communication pieces and this ecosystem that allows other people to come into our system, and they say they're not just learning from the corporate team. They're learning from the owner that opened up 3 months ago. They're reaching out to the person that had, a hiring issue, that's trying to figure out, well, what's the average salary in your area? Whatever pain point it is, they have somebody who has been there and done it. Plus they have the corporate support system. So the network is by far one of the biggest assets that we have. And we don't just have, a standard network that we say, hey, you can message all of our owners. No, we have a very active network of people that have hearts for giving back. And that's the biggest piece right there.
My most favorite part about our group of owners is that everyone has a specific skill set and talent before they came to Grit and Grind. I can just think off the top of my head. There's so many of us that if I'm having difficulties with wording how to coach a leader or train, I have literal coaches that are teachers and basketball and volleyball coaches that have done that for literally 15 plus years, how to coach someone without directly just being so hard. Because I've been an entrepreneur my entire life, but a solopreneur. It's me only. It's hard to talk to people sometimes, but they are my go-tos. And then you've got people like Kale, who's built huge teams, and like our ecosystem, I'm telling you, I'm biased, but there's so many cool people in it. And that's what we look for in potential franchisees. It's not, I could care less if you have money. I have told more people no this past year than I have yes. But it's because we look for those specific gifts and talents, not so you can just bring to me and I could mooch off of you, but what can you bring to our team to help everyone? That's what we look for in potential owners.
For sure. Another big thing that I feel like is a huge asset to our business and brand is the amount of the pie that we're willing to give up for others' success, right? It's just a testament of what our brand is all about. And what that looks like is making sure that the people that come, the owners that are running these stores and these locations nationally, that they're profitable. And how do we do that? We created this entire co-op that where we're getting, supplies, syrups, beans, coffee, all of this stuff at a deep discounted price. But at the same time, we don't at the corporate level take all of those profits and then just hoard them. What we do is we pass them on to our owners. And what that does is allows them to have a profitable business, a healthy business. So they are out there and they're showing up in a certain light in their community. They're excited about this business. It's not something that is life draining. It is life enhancing. So that allows them to go and have a positive attitude. And then we all know that, however the leadership team is, it just trickles down throughout your team. And if we're really excited and passionate about building organizations and providing opportunities to teams and jobs in our communities, well, if the owner of that location is not happy and excited about it, then the rest of his team feels that. And we're all about energy, right? Making sure that we're having a good energy and we're putting that into the world.
And another goal is we want multi-unit owners. And the fastest way to get there is for you to be able to invest in this, be a little nervous, be a little scared, because if you're not, then it's not a risk. But then be like, okay, I figured this out. We've paid this off. Let me go open another one. But you would never think about location 2 if it was a pain in your butt and you are not making money. So that is our 2 main priorities, is to make this as simple and pleasurable and absolutely freaking life-changing as possible, and to make you money so we can go on to opportunity number 2. So we can just rinse and repeat and be a beacon in a community, create jobs for other people. And it becomes addictive. Giving opportunity to people is freaking awesome.
I love that we pride ourselves on, don't get me wrong, we are profitable. We make great money, but at the same time, like, we want to make sure that the people that are around us are making money as well, and I think that that's what sets us apart from other big brands, especially the ones that I've heard and been able to talk to. It's literally like, sometimes you see people where they're greedy, you know what I mean? And they kind of like see profits on the table and they scoop them up for themselves. I feel like, our goals are very aligned on deferred gratification. You know what I mean? And ultimately, exactly what you just said, hey, if I'm willing to take a little bit less right now, then I'm ultimately passing along these profits so somebody else can get excited, because I know that they need to show up in a certain light in their business to continue to grow. And look, that happens, and you see that top down. If you have that opportunity, people get excited. They show up with a certain kind of energy. They go out, they have a positive light about themselves. And if you are doing that, your team leader's doing that, your manager's doing that, your barista's doing that, that is passed through to your customer. And then that circles back full circle what our primary goal is. And that is how we make sure to be a value add and add excitement and positivity to all the people that come to Grit and Grind.
Yeah. And it goes back to what we said. All this would be super lame if it was you at one end of the table, I'm at the other end of the table at our beach house, and it's just us having a conversation. It would be freaking awesome because we do it all the time. But it's so much cooler when you have all these other people that you get to enjoy and do life with, and just see all the like little connectors of how we've somehow are connected to their people in different states. It's the most rewarding part that we get to be a part of.
Yeah. And so like, I think we should finish this up and just ask the question, you know what I mean? Like, hey, last time that you went to Starbucks, how did you feel? Like, did you feel any certain type of way, or did you have just a good cup of coffee? Was the product good? Most of the time, the product's not even great. And the service, I don't know if I've had good service at Starbucks. And I'm not trying to bash them at all.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you what my personal experience has been. And we take these things and we take these audits, and it's like, okay, how can we make them better? And again, hats off to Starbucks. They paved the way. But at the same time, you come in and you identify where the gaps are, and then you fill those. Another cool thing is for anybody who is trying to set themselves up separate them and be it from their competitors. One of the easiest ways to do is I heard this from you, is you go to the Google reviews, right? And you look at your competitors and you see what the negative comments are about. And then you go in and fix that. For example, somebody says, hey, they don't have any high chair seating at XYZ. Okay, well, guess what we're at in next week? High chair seating.
It's the easiest hack. I don't know why no one thinks so, but I look at everybody's reviews, good and bad, and take audit and figure out what we can improve on. But that's just the nature of the beast. If you want to be really good at what you do, you have to continuously take audit. That's even with self-development. You always have to look at yourself, not look at really like, okay, Eric's done way better than me than this. I got to run faster. But like, what can I, little small meters can I move up to be just 1% better each day? So,
and I think also what we're doing better is we have a brand voice. When people come to Grit and Grind, they kind of know what we stand for, who we are, what is our mission, what are we trying to accomplish. When I go to places like Starbucks, it's convenience. You know what I mean? Nothing else speaks to me. For us, we have 3 simple core values. You know what I mean? And that is love others, spread light, and work hard. And that's not something that we just put on a shirt. You know what I mean? That's not our tagline on social media. That's something we actually walk out. And when you walk these things out, people want to be a part of that. They want to lock arms and do business with you, and they want to grow with you.
Yeah, I fully think that people who purchase from us, that are customers, they fully believe that they're buying into something bigger than just coffee, every single person. And if you don't think that, then you can drop it in the comments and I'll argue, because I've got about 200 reviews that say otherwise. But I really believe that anytime they come, it's really not for coffee. It's a feeling that they're looking for when they leave. It's a good morning from our baristas. It's a little bit of happiness, literally in a cup. It's just coffee just happens to be the catalyst of it, you know?
Yeah, I think that it really hit home for me that one time that we had a customer come and I served her, that brevet every single day. I knew her order and we would have like a little short conversation, but there was this one day she just kind of seemed a little bit off. And we started having a conversation and she was having a bad day. There were some things going on in her home life. Literally spent 30 minutes in conversation with this person. And I didn't really think nothing of it. It's just like who I was in my character. But it was 3 weeks later or something, she messaged us and she was like, dude, I was having such a bad day. And I'm so thankful for you stopping and taking the time to really just let me vent and talk to you. And that's when it really clicked. I was like, this is more than a business. This is more than, whatever. I mean, this is what it's all about. This is the purpose behind it. You know what I mean? The profits and the business piece is just secondary.
And we need those reminders sometimes because I'm not going to lie, we get caught up in like who's doing what, when's the next menu drop, sales, because at the end of the day, we have to support families. That's a responsibility that we've taken on. But at the core of it, if you can just simply put light into the world, as easy and corny as that sounds, the rest will come. All
right. So that is our take on why we believe Grit and Grind is better than Starbucks. Let us know your opinion in the comments. Please follow and like. We'd love to put out, more content around, coffee, entrepreneurship, real estate. We just love kind of like talking about things that are important to us in our life. And, hopefully this helps people along the way. Until next time.
No grit, no pearls.